What's happening, guys? So, YG's weekly wrap up, episode 4, fam. Right? So, we've got some games to cover. Right? So, you know how it goes. I do these live, but I don't wait for anybody to come in or anything like that. I just cover it. And we've got a Premier League game tonight, actually. I just realised. So, yeah. So, we'll start from, Saturday's fixtures and work our way down. Starting off with the first game of the weekend, which was Wolves v Liverpool, and Liverpool ran out 3-1 winners. Now Wolves, um, they had 8 attempts in the first half compared to Liverpool's 5, and only had 3 attempts in the second half compared to Liverpool's 11. Right. So altogether, they had 11 attempts. Liverpool had 16 attempts. So Wolves were in the game, right? They were very much in the game, and they went 1-0 up. It was 1-1 at half. It was 1-0 at half time. But Wolves, in typical Wolves fashion, they couldn't see it out. Now you look at them at Old Trafford; they actually played quite good, and they should have won that game easily, and they ended up losing. Like if Wolves carry on this kind of mess, they could end up in trouble. As for Liverpool, Liverpool are keeping strong at the moment. Drew the first game and won the previous 4. Now, the way I'm looking at Liverpool now is, with these wins, it's like, how couldn't you man beat Chelsea at the start of the season? Then what went on there? Because Chelsea had nothing special. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, well, when it comes around to playing us, it's going to be a decent game. When it comes around to them playing Man City, it's going to be a decent game. You know what I mean? When it comes to them playing Spurs, it's going to be a decent game. You know what I mean? Because that's when we'll see what Liverpool are really about. You know what I mean? Because, I don't know, maybe I'm reading into it a little bit too much. But Liverpool 3-1 winners, they're unbeaten so far, in the league. So, yeah. Next game, Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace. Aston Villa ran out 3-1 winners at Villa Park. They had a goal disallowed for offside. Went into the second half at 0-0. And then Crystal Palace went in front 2 minutes into the second half. And then Aston Villa ended up turning up. 87th minute, get the equaliser. 90 plus 8th minute, they get a penalty, which Douglas Luiz converts. And then in the 90 plus 11 minutes, they get the killer goal. So they kind of did an Arsenal versus Manchester United on Crystal Palace, basically. You know what I mean? You know how it goes. So yeah, Aston Villa, they started the season. They started the season getting slaughtered by Newcastle. Then they smoked Everton, smoked Hibernian in the qualifiers of the Europa Conference, beat Burnley, beat Hibernian again, and lost to Liverpool at Liverpool. Then they beat Crystal Palace. So yeah, their next league game is Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. That's going to be an interesting game as well. And, if Aston Villa don't win that game, can we take Aston Villa that serious? You know what I mean? Next game, Fulham versus Luton. Now, if Luton aren't careful, Fulham run out 1-0 winners in that game. Goal in the second half by Carlos Vinicius. If Luton aren't careful, they could end up like Derby of 2008. You know what I mean? Getting relegated by October. You know what I mean? It's not looking good for Luton. That's 7 goal attempts in that game. Only 4 in the second half, 3 in the first half. But yeah, it's not looking good for Luton. I mean, they're going to need to get some points, and they're going to need to get them fast. Otherwise, they're in danger. I mean, they're going to be in danger. It ain't gonna be good for them. Now, the next game.
Emotional damage.
I mean, It's not looking good for a certain club, is it? Because a certain club ran out 3-1 losers at home. The next game is Manchester United against Brighton. And it's another L for Man United.
That is another one.
Manchester United 1, Brighton 3. At Old Trafford, which is Brighton's, fourth consecutive win against Manchester United. I mean, unless you want to count all competitions, and then obviously the loss in the FA Cup semi-final last season, to which Man U went into the final and choked after 13 seconds. But anyways, Manchester United went behind. Brighton went in front with Danny Welbeck getting a goal. Haunts Old Trafford yet again. And then Man United had a goal disallowed from BTEC Haaland because the ball went out of play as Rashford crossed the ball in for the BTEC Haaland to convert it. So, yeah. And then second half, is it Pascal Gross, his name is? Yeah, Pascal Gross puts them 2-0 up. And then Pedro puts them 3-0 up. 3-0 at Old Trafford. I mean, But then one of their players, is a young player, 20 years old, signed him. Oh, he was on loan last season. So I don't know if he came through the youth or something like that, but he got his first goal for Man United, at least at senior level. And they're celebrating as if, it was a World Cup final goal. And it's like, fam, you man are 3-1 down at home. I think you should be concentrating on getting that ball and trying to at least rescue a point. But Man United ran out 3-1 losers at home, which is a shambles for that club, because now they have lost 3 of the 5 games they've played so far this season. You know what I mean? It's like, fam, they started off the season with a win against Wolves that they should not have beaten, then lost at Spurs, then they were 2-0 down at home to Nottingham Forest, but they ended up coming back and winning 3-2. Of course, the next game was against Arsenal, and we all know what happened there, so I don't need to say.
You serious?
And then they're going to lose 3-1 again to Brighton. I mean, it is not looking good. It is quite peak for that club, and there's a whole lot of crying there. But yeah, Man United 3-1 losers at home to Brighton, and it's not looking good for that club. They've got Bayern Munich away from home next. Now, the next game, Tottenham versus Sheffield United, and it was one of those games where they did to Sheffield United what we did to Man United. And it's been unlucky for Sheffield United because they looked like they were going to hold on to a draw against Man City and lost. It looked like they were going to get 3 points at Tottenham ground, and they ended up losing. They went in front on the 73rd minute. Then Spurs equalised through Richarlison, of all players, on the 90 plus 8th minute. And then on the 90 plus 10th minute, Richarlison sets up the goal for Kulusevski. I mean, it ain't looking good for Sheffield United. But Spurs, they think that now they've turned over a new leaf. So they're looking forward to coming to the stadium and trying to do something, right? So we'll see on the 24th what Spurs have got, because these man, they should learn by now. These men should learn by now. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Spurs won. They start the season unbeaten as well, apart from losing the League Cup to Fulham. But yeah, same record as Liverpool. Drew the first game and won the last 4 in the league. Next game, West Ham against Man City. Man City 3-1 winners at West Ham's ground, Olympic Stadium. Ward-Prowse actually put West Ham in front. And then Man City did what Man City usually do. And I'm tipping these man to, if they don't lose, if they lose any games this season in the league, it'll be no more than 2, the way they're going on. It just seems Man City, what we're seeing from Man City is they're not really trying that much, and they're still getting the results. I mean, they're still putting teams to bed with put to bed scorelines, aka winning by about 2 goals at least. You know what I mean? I made a video 4 months ago. I said this Man City could go invincible. I stand by it. I stand by it. If anybody in the league, in the Premier League, is going to go invincible, again, it's going to be Man City. They're the only team I can see doing it. We saw Liverpool nearly did it. Chelsea's nearly done it. But honestly, I mean, it's the only thing left to do for Man City to top their rivals, let's just say. Because they already, did the treble last season, which, topped Man United. You know what I mean? So it could be the case of they'll probably go invincible and then they'll have something to say to Arsenal fans.
Emotional damage.
And we can't have that. You know what I mean? We can't have that. We want to hold on to our record, you know what I mean? Because we can't have Man City going invincible, and they can chat to us about, oh, we went invincible as well. And Man City will probably win the double from it, no doubt. Maybe even a treble from it and get more points. So we can't have that. Anyways, the last game of Saturday evening, Newcastle versus Brentford. I haven't seen the highlights of that game, actually, because I forgot that game happened. But the Newcastle ran out 1-0 winners against Brentford by Wilson, a penalty. And Brentford and Newcastle game is like Newcastle's Brentford's weakness. Brentford have only won 1 game in the league so far. I mean, it's Brentford. It's not looking good. They've drawn the last 3 home games. Drew to Spurs, drew against Palace, drew against Brentford. The only team they beat in the league was Fulham 3-0 at Fulham. So it's not looking good for Brentford. You can't just draw your way into, whatever it is you want to do. If you want to top last season, because, you've got no Ivan Toney and you've only won 1 game in 5, not including the cup. We've got Everton next, right? And that could be the game that buries Sean Dyche. It could be. You know what I mean? Because if Brentford don't win that, and then they've got Arsenal next in the League Cup. They're at home to Arsenal. You never know what happens there. But again, Brentford, they're not getting any wins, are they? Let's hope they just carry it on for a bit longer, because you got Arsenal in the League Cup. Anyways, let's move over to Super Sunday and Bournemouth versus Chelsea. And this is at Bournemouth's ground. I watched the game, and it was a good game. It was a good 0-0 draw for neutrals. I was disappointed that Bournemouth couldn't get the win. But Chelsea, the thing is with Chelsea, it's not like they don't have chances. They do have chances. You look at the goal attempts altogether. Bournemouth had 13. Chelsea had 14. And it was a 0-0 draw. A club like Chelsea that spent as much as what they spent, how are they not putting a game like that to bed? You know what I mean? But I'm loving it, because Chelsea are going back to normal. They've had the magic spell of Abramovich for the past 20 years. Now it's gone. Todd Bowley, all he knows is spend money. You know what I mean? He's like Kroenke 2.0, pretty much, apart from he actually will give them the money. You know what I mean? Now, the last game of the Super Sunday saw Arsenal versus Everton at Goodison Park, which saw Arsenal run out 1-0 winners thanks to the only goal by Leandro Trossard.
Nightwolf wins. Fatality.
It was a game where there's no excuses. This is a game that that we must win. We should win. You know, we're obligated to 3 points against a club like that with their record like that. You know what I mean? Should never have lost there last season. This team should have never gone there last season and lost. But this season, you know, we've got our win there. I won't class it as a big win because it shouldn't be a big win beating Everton. Shouldn't be. You know what I mean? So Martinelli had a goal disallowed for offside. Those of you who want some match reaction, you know, you can go and watch that because I'm not going to say too much about this. And then Trossard came on as a sub, and he in the 69th minute put us 1-0 up. And it was a good setup from the corner as well because it was a short corner and you know played the passes and Saka made the assist. So yeah, next up for Arsenal is North London. Well, no, we've got PSV in the Champions League, and then we've got the North London derby. So yeah, looking forward to that. Everton, they've got Brentford next, which, you know, if they don't win that game, yeah, I can see it being curtains for Sean Dyche. And then they go to Aston Villa again, but this time in the EFL Cup. You know, and that's, you could probably say Everton are out of that, but you never know. Cup games, things can happen. Then they have Luton at home on the 30th of September, and if Sean Dyche is still there for that, and they don't win that game, I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know what to say. So that's it for the wrap up. We know tonight, Forest played Burnley in the league at Forest. So, you know, Burnley are yet to win a game this season, and going to Forest is not going to be the easiest. Oh no, but they beat Forest in the cup already. They're beating Forest in the cup already at Forest. So Forest, who were last season's semi-finalists, are already out of the League Cup thanks to Burnley. This time, Burnley go there in the league. I think that's the 3 points for Forest. I don't think Burnley are going there and lightning striking twice. And then they host Man United on 23rd, which is a Saturday night, which if Burnley get away with a win from that is going to be absolutely hilarious. But guys, I'm going to leave it there because that's it for the weekly wrap-up. Like the video, share the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, follow all the socials. Links are down below. And stay tuned for my next video, which will no doubt be the cover of the Champions League. Backing it after so many years out, you know. But I'm not the most excited person for the Champions League, but I always want to see my club do well. Yeah. So, guys, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Peace out.